Ayumi Hamasaki, a lonely professional, a big concert with no audience. On the night of November 29, 2025, Japanese singer Ayumi Hamasaki finished a very rare, zero-audience concert in the Shanghai Oriental Sports Center. This show was supposed to be the Shanghai stop of her Asia tour. The arena could hold more than 10,000 people. The stage, lights, sound, and all equipment had been set up days earlier. Her team had also finished all rehearsals. But on the morning of November 28th, the day before the show, the organizers suddenly received a notice from the Shanghai authorities. They were told to cancel the public concert because of force majeure, and no audience would be allowed to enter. Even though the concert was canceled, Ayu still stepped onto the stage at the original start time with her band, dancers, and 200 staff members. She followed the real concert flow and sang the full set list. From the opening song to the encore, there was not a single person in the seats. The huge arena that could hold over 10,000 people was completely empty under the lights, and she performed a full show that should have belonged to thousands of fans. Later, she posted the video on social media. It created huge discussions in Japan, China, and East Asia, and turned what should have been a normal tour stop into one of the most symbolic cultural events of 2025. Ayumi Hamasaki is called by English-language media the Queen of J-pop, and one of the most influential singers of the Heisei era. She's also one of the best-selling solo female artists in Japanese history. Since her debut in 1998, her albums and singles stayed at the top of the Oricon charts for many years. Her music and visual style had a big influence on Asian pop culture. For Chinese people born in the 1980s and 1990s, her name is part of their memory. From early pirated CDs to online live videos, to her past concerts in China, her fan base is not the newest generation, but it is very loyal. This incident happened during the Shanghai stop of her Asia Tour 2025, I Am Ayu EP. The venue was the Shanghai Oriental Sports Center, with about 14,000 seats. Her stage team, including members from both Japan and China, had 200 people. They entered the venue 5 days earlier to build the stage, set up lights, and rehearse. According to the organizers' comments to Japanese media and to NHK, Japan's national public broadcaster, the show was stopped the morning before the performance. The official reason was force majeure, and all tickets would be fully refunded within 30 days. Ayu herself posted a statement on November 28th to apologize to fans. She said, "Please forgive me for bringing such painful news." She wrote that 200 staff from Japan and China worked for 5 days to complete the stage for today in Shanghai. But this morning we suddenly received an order to stop the concert. In the same message, she wrote a line that people kept repeating later: "I still believe that entertainment should be a bridge that connects people. And I want to keep building this bridge." What truly shocked the public was what she did the next day. According to many English-language reports and her own Instagram, on the night of November 29th, the original showtime, she still put on her stage outfit, walked onto the stage with her band, dancers, and all staff, and performed the whole set list from start to finish, including the encore songs, but the venue stayed completely empty. No audience was allowed inside. On Instagram she wrote, "In front of 14,000 empty seats, I could still feel the huge love from the fans all over the world. This was one of the most unforgettable shows of my life. I truly thank the 200 staff members from Japan and China. The band and the dancers, they are the ones who made this stage possible." Former Japanese Prime Minister Yukio Hatayama also reposted the photos on X, saying he was deeply moved that she still chose to perform even without an audience. There was a small side story. In Chinese language media, a member of the camera crew later posted a message saying that the online phrase, "a concert for one person," or "a full official show in an empty arena," was not fully accurate. He said it was closer to a full run-through rehearsal that happened to be filmed, which led to misunderstanding. But when compared with Ayu's own words, she said she performed. From the first song to the encore in a no-audience situation, the difference from a real empty arena show is actually very small in common sense. Whether it counts as an official concert can be argued through wording. But one thing is clear, the audience was kept outside. and she chose to stand on the stage and sing everything she was supposed to sing. All sides agree on this point. As for why the show was stopped, the official reason was the same old phrase, force majeure. But the real background was something everyone already understood. In early November, Japanese Prime Minister Sani Takaichi talked about Taiwan during a debate in Japan. She said that if China attacked Taiwan, it could create a situation of national crisis for Japan, and Japan might take action under relevant laws. These words basically put, if Taiwan is in danger, Japan may use military force openly on the table, and it caused strong criticism from Beijing for several days. After that, China-Japan relations quickly turned cold. On the Chinese side, while officials criticized Japan in diplomatic settings, they also began sending signals through many civilian-level activities. The most visible among these was the sudden cooling down of Japanese artists' events inside China. According to English-language reports, besides IU, singer KOKIA's Beijing concert was cancelled half an hour before showtime. The boy group JO1 had their Guangzhou fan event stopped at the last minute due to force majeure. At the Bandai Namco Festival in Shanghai, One Piece theme song singer Maki Atsuki had her song cut mid-performance. The lights turned off and she was asked to leave the stage. The event was then stopped entirely. Officials rarely said openly that because of Japan's comments on Taiwan, "We are canceling performances." The public wording was always security reasons, force majeure or schedule adjustments. But according to reports from Global Times, Singaporean media, Korean media, and Southeast Asian media, almost all of them linked these cancellations directly to Takaichi's comments on Taiwan and China's desire to show a counter-response atmosphere. You can understand it as a kind of cultural sanction, since it was inconvenient to take quick action in trade or finance. The easiest target became the entertainment world. The public reaction was very divided. For Chinese fans, many people had bought tickets long ago, booked flights and booked hotels. They traveled from different places to Shanghai. When the show was suddenly cancelled, they lost time and money, and the emotional drop was even worse. English media such as Bandwagon wrote that many fans could only gather outside the venue or at themed cafes. But they saw the posters removed and even saw police watching the area. People complained about the term force majeure, but at the same time they were moved by the photos of her empty arena performance. Among Japanese and overseas internet users, opinions were even more mixed. Some people praised her as a classic example of Japanese professionalism and said it was a little crazy but very romantic. Others thought the situation was kind of awkward, but they also admitted that she probably wanted to record footage for Blu-ray or DVD, so at least the show would be saved in some complete form. From a business point of view, it helped reduce the damage inside China. Nationalist voices were saying something very different. Some people said this was a proper response to Japan's provocation on the Taiwan issue, and that national interests should come first. In their view, cultural events must give way to the bigger political picture. In reports and comment sections of the Global Times, some voices even treated the cancellation as a lesson for Japan. As for how many Chinese fans lost money on air tickets and hotels, almost no one seemed to care. When we step back and look at the situation, we can see at least 3 layers of structural conflict. The first layer is the contrast between old-style professional values and today's entertainment world. IU's generation of artists relied on real singing, real tour and physical album sales. For her, a concert means that if the lights are on and the sound is ready, she must stand on stage and complete the show. Keeping the audience out was not her decision. The only thing she could do was respect the stage that had already been built and the team that had worked hard. In today's world of online traffic, TV shows and lip-syncing, this kind of thinking feels out of time. That is why people turned it into a romantic idea, a lonely professional. A concert for one person. The second layer is the relationship between the audience and power. On the surface, this was a normal commercial event. Fans paid money for tickets and the organizer provided the service. But in reality, when authorities give a single order, 14,000 tickets can become useless in 1 second. Hundreds of thousands of yuan in travel and hotel costs can disappear instantly. And the cancellation only needed 4 words, force majeure. The people making the decisions did not need to be responsible to any individual. The ones who paid the price were the fans, the venue staff, and all the small businesses around the event. This structure shows that in certain political environments, cultural consumption can be treated like a disposable item. The third layer, the one most worth noticing, is how political conflict spilled into a cultural space that had nothing to do with it. The Japanese government's strong comments were directed at Taiwan and at the Chinese government. It was a diplomatic and security issue. But China's reaction fell on Japanese performers. This logic was not a direct countermeasure against Japan's government, but rather choosing the softest, safest target: artists who cannot create diplomatic problems. Japanese performers are not policymakers. They have no role in government actions. Canceling concerts does not create any real pressure on Japan's government. It is mostly a domestic political gesture, a symbolic act to show toughness. This method, turning national-level diplomatic anger toward unrelated people in the cultural world, is basically an internal political strategy. Stopping concerts has the lowest cost and the lowest risk, and it is the easiest for nationalist audiences to see as a strong response. But the ones who take the real damage are not the Japanese government or diplomats. It is the artists who just came to perform, the fans who spent money and time, and all the workers involved. A cultural event that had nothing to do with politics suddenly became a tool for venting geopolitical emotions. From this angle, the image of one person singing a full show in front of 14,000 empty seats went viral on the Chinese internet, not only because it looked dramatic, but because it combined 3 kinds of conflict at the same time: a singer who insists on old-school professional values, a group of ordinary fans who can be erased anytime by higher power, and a system that treats public culture as a tool for diplomacy. Whether you like Ayu's music or not no longer matters. The scene itself is something worth remembering.